our school, although we have the word Buddhist on there, we are actually not Buddhist as in a religious Buddhist. Actually, if you study the Dharma, which is the teaching of the Buddha, it's not secular. People say Buddhism is a secular religion. People say it's a philosophy. But any of those is close to being right, but not fully on, because if you study the text, it is like, see, my background is computer engineering. So as much as I'm a student to Einstein when I study quantum physics, I could say that I'm religiously following Einstein if I pay heed, careful attention to his knowledge. So our school, we pay attention to the early texts, the words of the Buddha, and then we put it into practice. From that sense, it's not philosophical. From that sense, it's not religious. Because his teaching is, let me explain it as best as I can from an engineering point of view. So, it's going to be hard pressed for you to try and convert an engineer to a religious background. Let me tell you that. Especially computer engineering, because you've got to be very, you're very logical. I was sold to science and mathematics since I was 14, right? That was my religion. But let me compare quickly so that you understand what a Dharma or the teaching of the Buddha is to me. When we design computer, there's hardware and then there's also software. When we say we're a computer engineer, we actually have to program the software, the operating system, so that we can coordinate the hardware together. So in the same way, when a computer comes to life or a machine comes to life, like a phone, we call it an artificial intelligence. Isn't that right? Smart devices. Come on. Here's a piece of metal. You don't go to a piece of metal and go, that's a smart metal. We call it a smartphone because we put a human aspect into it. So it becomes a machine. Do you know what is the most complex machine that we know
of? Our brain? No, that's not a machine.
Well, is it not?
Maybe.
It's the human machine. Would you agree? No human being, no matter how smart, even Elon Musk right now, who's designing rockets to take us to Mars, has not been able to design a machine that eat bread, that eat fish or banana and convert it to human skin. The most complex machinery, you all have one. Your body, isn't it?
Yes.
Right. So this machinery is run by whom? Who runs your machinery? Do you? Right. So we think our brain, our mind runs it. Well, that's what we believe, isn't it?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right. So let me ask you this. Have you ever tried to close your eyes and just still your mind, which they call meditation? Have you tried?
Yes. Yes.
Have you found it frustrating that you could not control your thoughts?
Yes.
You have all experienced it. So let me ask you again. You just then said that your mind controls your machinery, but when you close your eyes and you ask your mind to stop and not think, you couldn't stop. So are you in control?
No.
Clearly not. Our mind is actually very confused. We are confused machines. Well, we are software. Our mind is like the software in a computer. Our body is like the hardware. But the software is very confused. We think we have control of this machinery. True or not? Have you ever made a New Year resolution?
Yeah.
Have you been successful?
Sometimes.
So you see, our mind, we're not in control of. So the Dharma was an enlightened teaching by a person who fully was able to control his mind. And therefore, he is like the best engineer of all times. This Dharma is nothing more than the software that is able to fully understand this machinery. Does that help? So it's not philosophical. Cannot be. if it has to operate a machine. And it was an Indian man, 2,600 years ago, roughly. Born 2,565 years ago, to be precise, this month. And that's all it is. That's our school. I hope that helps. So we're very universal, very inclusive. We're not secular. How can you say something as universal as a software that can operate the machine here for all human beings to be secular? How can that be? It can't be. So if you're a Christian, no problem. Take this software. Be a better Christian. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Our universal religion should be common sense, or the common elements of compassion, loving kindness, generosity, selflessness. That should be our common religion, isn't it? So I hope that helped.